All right, so I'm going to go over the answers for document D and E and F and G for our third DBQ. These are the documents that you should have been working on last Thursday and Friday. If you are missing anything, you should be copying down these answers so you have them, because we are working on our graphic organizer this week. And if you did all of the answers, you should still go through this and just make sure that your answers are complete. If you're missing anything, just type in whatever I have on here so you have that information. All right, so document D, this was about the Pennsylvania case that suspended a student because she was making fun of the school principal. So here are the answers. The first one is, who is James McGonigal? James McGonigal is the middle school principal. Number 2, in what ways did the school district claim the MySpace profile disrupted school? The school district said the MySpace profile caused general rumblings, and in one class, a few of the students were talking about it, and they were told to stop talking multiple times. That was as much disruption as was actually done. What was the court's decision in this case? What reason did they give, and what landmark case did they cite? So the court did not agree with the school district. It said that the school violated the students' First Amendment rights. They did not see enough of a disruption in the school that required that level of punishment. And they referenced the Tinker versus Des Moines case as a landmark case. If you don't remember what this case is, but you feel like you're going to end up needing it, the information for this case is in your background essay that you guys did, I think, last Monday. Number 4, does the document support limiting or not limiting student online speech? The answer is the document supports not limiting online speech because it gives an example of when a school takes something a little too seriously, when it wasn't that big of a deal, and because of the punishment, the school ended up violating the student's First Amendment rights because of their actions. So maybe that student was being incredibly rude, but the punishment that the school handed out, it violated their First Amendment rights. All right, document E is this comic. So the questions, where is the action in the cartoon taking place? The cartoon is taking place in the principal's office. What seems to be happening in the cartoon? A teacher is explaining what was stolen from them. It is assumed that the teacher is talking about a student. Okay, they don't at any point say a student, but honestly, if a teacher is reporting this to a principal, talking about a student, they would not be talking about like a coworker or something. How might this teacher's performance as an educator be affected? The teacher's performance is going to be affected because they are being put in a position where their students don't respect them and are taking away their privacy and their right to be respected as a person. So I asked a lot of you guys to look up the word dignity. I just kind of rephrased that in a different way. What do you think the cartoonist's message is, and what might be the thesis statement for this cartoon? This part, if you do a good job having a detailed cartoonist message, answering that part of the question, you can kind of combine these two. So you didn't need to stress out about the thesis statement. The cartoonist message is that teachers are starting to experience a different level of bullying. It is not just about something in their bag being stolen. More meaningful things are being taken away from them as a person, like their privacy and their dignity. Last one, does this document support limiting or not limiting student online speech? Explain. This document supports limiting online speech because it is clear that students are not the only ones experiencing cyberbullying, that teachers are also being affected by this as well. Now, if you have a question about why do I keep bringing up cyberbullying in this case, the reason I am is because at no point are they talking about whether it's on a computer or not, but because our essay is going to be kind of about cyberbullying and online speech, we're going to assume and sort of put this cartoon in a cyberbullying realm, and we're going to kind of talk about it as if it's taking place on a computer. The way it works for our essay. All right, document F and G. So document F, this is a statement that was written for the ACLU on a subcommittee hearing about cyberbullying. So the first question is, according to this document, why should we question reports of increasing threats to students online? So we should be questioning these reports because bullying has been an issue for centuries. It is much easier to prove now because a lot of it is documented online, but the dangers of bullying are the same on or offline. It's always the same. Authors say that bullying was a problem long before the internet. What point are they trying to make by highlighting bullying's long history? They're trying to show that even if online speech is limited, bullying will still take place. and that this is a common thread that everyone has experienced and it won't be going anywhere. So even before online, you still are dealing with people who were bullies or people who were bullied, okay, and that's not going to change, according to this article. What do these authors say restricting a student's speech rights are a step in the wrong direction? They think that restricting their rights won't fix bullying issues. They'll find another way to bully other people. They will have, all students, that's who I mean by they, will have the right taken away from them with no real benefit to anyone else. So the ACLU is saying you can take away their right to freedom of speech and limit that, but bullying is still going to happen. Does this document support limiting students' online speech? This document supports not limiting students' online speech because the people who wrote this, they don't believe it will make much of an impact. It will just limit the constitutional right only. So it'll take away a citizen's right, but it's not going to actually fix the problem. Bullying is the problem. All right, last one, document G. This is from the U.S. Department of Education. Who's the author of this letter? This letter is written by Ruslan Ali, who works for the U.S. Department of Education in 2010. According to the letter, what actions might violate civil rights laws? So any type of bullying and harassment might violate civil rights laws because it could be about race, color, or national origin, which a lot of bullying sometimes is. According to the letter, what must schools do about harassment? Schools must address all harassment incidents, and they're not allowed to ignore them. And by address, it means that they need to potentially punish students. Most of the time, it means that there needs to be punishment handed out. What is the Department of Education's position on cyberbullying? The Department of Education believes that cyberbullying should be addressed because it is just another form of bullying that could easily be threatening or harmful. So even though cyberbullying is taking place on a computer, it's still just bullying, and there's a lot of laws talking about bullying and how that needs to be addressed. Cyberbullying should be treated the same way. And then lastly, does this document support limiting or non-limiting students' online speech? This document supports limiting students' online speech because a school may need to punish a student for cyberbullying or any speech that is starting to violate another student's civil rights. So even if it wasn't a cyberbullying intent and they weren't planning on cyberbullying someone, if they start bringing up somebody's race or national origin, that starts to cross a line into cyberbullying, and that needs to be addressed because it's violating someone's civil rights. All right, make sure you go through this video and you write down any questions that you were missing or that were not complete.